Hello and welcome to The Man Games. This is the podcast show, Is the Man
And the wife.
podcast. Today is a bit of a different episode. We are reviewing a movie. It is Santa's Little Helper. We're getting into the Christmas season.
Whoop, whoop. I'm excited. Love a bit of Christmas.
So this is a WWE film, so it does count as, wrestling related. The stars of the film is The Miz and Paige. Also, the other main character is Annling McCord, she's called. Yeah, that's rhymes. And also Maurice is in this film. She has a little cameo, which we'll get to obviously later on. So this film, it's only a short film. It's only just on over an hour and a half. And the release date was November 17, 2015. I can't believe this film's already 5 years old. I think it was a straight to DVD film. I don't think it was released. Yeah, this film was released direct to DVD. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Which isn't surprising.
No, it's not surprising at all. But I didn't realise. Yeah, I didn't realise it was 5 years old. We've had it on, but we haven't had it on DVD for 5 years, have we?
No, maybe only three or four.
Yeah.
So it won't have come out in the UK in 2015. I wouldn't have thought. It's like, how long ago did Marine 6 come out in America and we've still not got it over here?
Oh, really?
Oh, like I've never seen it in a shop or...
Is that Becky Lynch's one?
Yeah.
I haven't thought about that, yeah.
So,
that's a good point, isn't it?
Do you want to say anything before we actually got into the film, or...?
No, I think I'll leave my sort of roundup, I suppose, at the end. Like it's a typical like cheesy Christmas film, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Do you know when like you go on Netflix and there's like all these Christmas films you like that are just...
Oh yeah, if Miz and Paige weren't in this film, I probably wouldn't
ever watch it.
Watch it, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. So the main character, obviously, as you said earlier, is Miz, but his name in the film is Dax. And sort of like the really basic storyline is that Miz is a bit of a knob, really, at the beginning of the film. And an elf comes to put him through some tests, see if he qualifies to become the Ho Ho Ho, which is like Santa's second in charge.
Second in charge.
Yeah. That's pretty much like the gist of the whole entire film. So yeah, it is cheesy, as you can tell. And so like the opening sort of scenes is Miz getting fired from his job, and he kind of like goes downhill, doesn't he? Like it starts off that he's like the man, isn't he? That he's
so it starts up. He goes to this youth centre and tells them if they don't pay the bills, that it's going to get knocked down basically. And then he turns up to work, acts all cocky with everyone, and then his boss tells him he's fired.
Yeah.
So yeah, he doesn't take it very well. He picks up like a helmet and smashes a hard hat, smashes their glass table, and then his boss gets the security guard. Like Dax chases his boss through the building.
He picks up the signed Super Bowl football, doesn't he?
Yeah, and it accidentally hits the massive
security guard,
and he brays the Miz, or Dax even.
Yeah, and then the next scene, so Dax's life is like getting worse, and the next scene is Dax's girlfriend leaving him, and she says to him, "A smart girl knows when to leave a sinking ship," and he says, "Who accused you of being smart?" That was the first time I googled in this film, and it must have been about 6 minutes in.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
So going back to like the first scene, when he leaves the youth shack, you see his name on the bench outside.
Oh yeah, it's been carved like Dax 98, isn't it, or something?
And he pulls up and parks in a disabled spot and just throws in a disabled sticker, and Santa's there and he says that's not going to get you on the nice list.
Yeah. So, yeah. Shall we just keep going then? I don't know what else to say about that really. Like it's all pretty.
So after the Miz, I keep saying the Miz. After Dax, his girlfriend leaves him, then his former company or work come and they take his car, and he says, "I can cope without losing the girlfriend. Don't take my car."
Yeah, I'm in the car and in love. You don't like that. You don't like our car.
So then I don't like our car.
Well, you're not you're not a car person,
Oh,
are
I'm
you?
not a car person. No, I don't know the difference between cars.
Yeah.
I know white cars and red cars.
And we have a.
You're a white car. We live near a red car.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's only 5 minutes of the road.
Oh.
Oh. So red car is like a town, like 40 minutes away. That really went over her head.
That really did.
So later that night, Dax goes for a stroll and he walks past the youth shack and starts shouting at the building.
Some
Saying,
very weird scenes in this film, isn't there? Like, this is a weird scene. Like you just wouldn't do that, would you? Like, you've beaten me once, but you're not gonna beat me again. Like, that's what he shouts at a centre, like a youth centre. Like, it just, these things don't happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can accept that Santa is real, and I can accept that an elf comes to the North Pole, but I cannot accept that a normal, sane person would do that.
No, I don't think I've ever shouted at a building before.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's upset that he's lost a job and everything, and then he's blaming the youth centre. It's like the youth centre's fault. I don't know. I just can't get it. But anyway, there's many scenes I say I can't believe all. It's a bit weird. So that's my first one, though.
So Santa shows up and asks him what he wants for Christmas, and he says, I've lost my job, my girlfriend, my car, so how about a pony for Christmas? Obviously joking.
Yeah.
So yeah, then the next scene is it's up at the North Pole. You see Santa talking to Billy, who is the main female character. Mm-hmm. She's like his personal trainer at the time, isn't she?
Yeah, she's like his personal trainer, which makes no sense, really, does it? Why does Santa need a personal trainer? Why
because his wife's always feeding him cookies. That's why.
All right, why is she not wearing a top in this? Like,
so you know that he's a personal trainer. That's why.
Okay. Fair enough.
Well, I mean, I assume.
Okay. Anyway, and in this scene, Santa is telling Billy that his ho ho ho, which I didn't get. I know that's an acronym, but can't remember what it was for.
Okay.
But the Twix, who is the ho ho ho, is retiring, and so he needs to find a new person.
He's got his eye on someone.
He's got his eye on somebody, and he asks, Billy to go down and I suppose recruit or headhunt, and put him through a series of tests. Sorry, Dax, not he, to see if he qualifies to become the ho ho ho. And sort of one thing that they sort of like hint on here is that Billy gets bullied for having round ears. So obviously elves supposed to have pointy ears, but she doesn't. Yeah. I never really understand why that's like an important thing in this film. It would make a difference, would it? Put a hat
maybe
on.
It would.
She wears a hat the whole entire time mostly anyway. Like,
why do you think? Because she hasn't got elf ears.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that's a bit strange.
The elf ears in this film look pretty crap as well.
Oh yeah, they're horrendous, aren't they? Yeah. Like, it's definitely a low budget film.
Yeah, they can tell they're just material. They're not even like made plastic ones. So then Eleanor shows up, who is that's who Paige's character is. She wants to know where Billy is going. She's going through like a travelling machine or something.
Yeah, there's Fitzy, the transporter elf, who is like, you don't really understand his point in the film at all.
He's just there to make jokes, isn't he?
He is, which I did laugh at. So yeah, Eleanor's trying to get the information off Fritzy as to where Billy's going, and this is another weird scene. Oh wait, before that, good line. Eleanor calls Billy a freak because of her ears, and she says, "Well, tell that to Rudolph, because obviously he was a freak with the shiny nose."
Yeah.
Anyway, then another weird scene is Eleanor wants to get the information of where Billy's going on Fitzy, and then she seduces him by playing with her pointy ears. That is so weird.
It's grown-up humour, that's what it is.
It is. It's just like...
I do think this film is a PG, so they couldn't really do anything more like adult-based, if that's what you're meaning.
Yeah, but like, she's a wrestler. Why couldn't she put him like an armbar or something and make him like tap out?
This isn't a wrestling film. Just because it's a WWE film doesn't mean to say she has to act like a wrestler, does it?
Well, I don't know. I just feel like, it was just silly. What? It was just weird to watch. I just didn't like it.
So, if you saw that... Well, you could say a few things about other things Paige has done. So if you... I can't even say what I was going to say because it's just so inappropriate. Moving on.
So Billy then turns up at Dax's house and is saying that she's here to like recruit him for a job if he can complete these tasks, blah, blah, blah. Dax is all for it because it sounds like it's for somebody who's very famous and he's quite shallow, so someone famous sounds like a good job. I do enjoy the line where he asks how she is and she says, Billy, oh no, he asks for her name and she said Billy is fine and he's like, Billy is fine.
While staring at her bum.
Yeah, pretty much.
And before Billy got to the house, though, the eviction guy came and told him he has to leave his house.
Yes, sorry, I did miss that bit.
So his first test to see if he can get the job is they go to like a rough area and there's a biker bar there and Billy wants him to go in and tell them that he's dinged one of their bikes.
Yeah.
He has to wear a Christmas tree hat as he does so.
Fun fact, guys, we actually have a hat that looks like this Christmas tree hat. Oh, it's very similar. In fact, ours actually, you can turn on and it flashes things.
Lucky us.
Look at you. I feel like if we get enough people requesting it, you should wear one during a live stream.
Yeah?
Just saying. Just saying.
So he goes into the bar and you see a cameo of Maurice in this. She's working behind the bar.
She looks fit, doesn't she?
Yeah, and like when you click on the page where it says who's starring in this film, she's actually named as one of the top 5 people starring in this film.
Oh really? And she's about in it for about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Does she even have a line? I can't even think she has a line.
I don't think so. She just pulls faces and
then punches
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
you think she enjoyed doing it?
Well, she's probably because she's been in some of these other films, like in cameo roles.
Oh really?
Yeah, she's in Marine 4, I think, in a cameo at the beginning of the film.
Oh.
I think she either dies or she's injured or something. She's on a stretcher bed.
I vaguely remember this actually. We watched this, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he tells the biker dude that he's dinged the car.
The bike.
The bike. Sorry, the biker dude goes to hit him with a bar stool, but he moves and hits someone else, and then this kind of keeps on happening every time they try to hurt Dax. He moves and they hit each other.
Yeah.
And then he turns around and sees Maurice and smiles, and then she punches him, knocks him out. Then they all put him on the pool table, and it looks like they're about to kill him. Where Billy comes in, she like stops time, and
So what we didn't mention earlier actually is that when Billy is talking to Santa and Santa sends her off to do this job, she gets the bell of North Pole magic, and that's the bell she rings to stop this from happening.
Yeah.
Which this really annoys me that the next scene is them sat back in Dax's house, and like Dax does not kick off enough fuss about just magically appearing there.
Well, yeah, I know, but I think he's meant to have just woken up and he's got like peas on his head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you'd be definitely more bruised. Like, I don't know, I just feel like that doesn't work for me.
Okay. Maybe if you're just thinking too much into that.
Yeah, but that's just the way I am, so.
Okay. So now they're back at Dax's home. Billy rings for Santa, but that Fritz guy shows up in Santa's clothes. He's been trying on Santa's clothes while Santa's not been watching.
It's not weird or anything, is it?
No.
And then Billy's like, "Oh, why are you wearing Santa's clothes?" and all this jazz. Anyway, she sends him away, and then Santa turns up, and Santa knows obviously all along that Fitzy's been doing this, and she's asking like, "Why Dax?" Isn't she?
Yeah, and Santa just says he's got great character.
Mm. Anyway, then the next scene is the next task he has to achieve, and it's in a pizza place. Anyway, and he has to show humility, isn't it? And so Billy passes him like an outfit to wear. It's a big bear costume.
No, it's not. It's a monkey.
A monkey costume. Bear, monkey.
Bear and a monkey are very different characters.
Well, anyway, but this annoys me, right? Another thing that annoys me. But I did enjoy this film, but this annoyed me. So they get into this pizza place, right? Which Dax seems like he's never been in it before. He walks up to a chef who's cutting a pizza and just takes a slice. That would not happen. And a chef would never let that happen. And then, to top it off, when Dax goes and gets into his monkey costume, Billy goes up to the chef and the chef says to her, "Oh, taste a bit." Then she only takes a piece of pepperoni. She doesn't take a slice of pizza. She just eats a piece of pepperoni off the pizza.
Which isn't something the chef will have made. The pepperoni will have been cured separately.
Exactly. And then that actually pizza that Miz is taking a pizza out of was whole again.
Okay.
Anyway.
This part of the film's only in like maybe 4 seconds as well, so...
It really is. It's like a tiny little bit. There's so many weird things that I just don't like it.
Okay, so Dax is the big monkey for the kids' party. The birthday boy, the child, says that the monkey sucks and starts throwing like lollies at him. And then like they start firing like balls at him through this like machine thing.
Yeah.
And then it's just a bit of a like free for all, really, isn't it?
Yeah, so he's like taking orders and it's going like back and forth, and it's supposed to be like a bit of a, I can't think of the word, but like
Hectic.
Yeah, hectic, and it's like fast forward slightly and all this. I do enjoy though in this, like they keep stopping and starting obviously in this hectic bit, and he's sat in like a tunnel, in the play area, and this little girl like crawls up to him and is like, "I think I like the birthday boy," and he's like, "You should talk to him," and she's like, "Are you kidding me? I should punch him. He'll get the message."
Yeah, that's probably the funniest part of the film.
It's not the funniest part of the film, but it is a funny part of the film.
So next, the birthday boy is giving Miz attitude, saying that he's in this situation making bad life choices. What child speaks like that to an adult?
Yeah, I mean,
and then burps in the Miz's face.
Yeah, like the attitude to these children to this monkey. Like, I'm sorry, where are the parents doing all this?
Well, funny you should say that, because then the Miz plants the kid's face into his birthday cake in front of all the parents.
So, but like, why didn't the parents pick up on this bad attitude beforehand? I don't know.
Well, they've passed it on to their child, haven't they?
Clearly.
So then the Miz is very shocked at what he's just done and calls for a food fight. So yeah, then it gets messy and
it looks like he, made everything all right.
Yeah.
So anyway, it sort of cuts then to Billy being like, you barely passed that test because, it turned out all right in the end, but you only just come up from your mistakes. So then she tells him to go get changed, and then Eleanor, which is Paige, comes along and is like, "Ooh, you've got the job I want, so you're applying for it."
Yeah,
and Dax is very confused.
He thinks it's the monkey job, doesn't he?
Yeah, and she obviously means a ho-ho job. So yeah. Then Eleanor goes up to
Billy.
Yeah, that's the one, and is like, "He'll never make it. It's my job, blah, blah, blah." That's the basis of it, isn't it, really? The next scene is when they're back in Dax's house.
Yep.
Talking it through. They're eating pizza.
Oh.
Guess what Billy's doing? Just eating the pepperoni again.
Oh, well, maybe she only likes pepperoni.
Clearly. I mean, who is this person who just likes pizza but eats pepperoni off it?
So Miz tells that this is more like a romantic scene in a way, or like a soppy scene.
A strange scene.
He tells her that she should smile more, and she's the most beautiful person he's ever seen. They're going for a kiss, but then she kind of freaks out and says she's going to leave. She runs into a window thinking it's the door.
Yeah, but before that, she's like, "Do you really think I'm beautiful? Even my..." And then she, like, pulls up her head to show her ears. Like, once again, very weird.
But it's not though, is it? Because she doesn't think she's beautiful because she hasn't got elf ears.
I know that, but she's talking to somebody who has round ears. So
yeah,
let's paint this scene, okay? If she did have elf ears, and she's like, "You think I'm beautiful? Even my ears?" And then Dax looks at her pointy ears and goes, "What the hell is wrong with you, freak?"
No.
Okay.
So if you only had like,
I don't know how
I can say this without offending like people that actually have a like.
No, all I mean is that in this film, the elves have pointy ears, and I totally get that. And obviously, she's a freak because she's only got pointy ears, but she gets sent down to normal land, between the poles, as they call it. And then, but she says to somebody who has round ears, who expects to have round ears, "Do you think these are okay?" Like, I just find it weird. Anyway, let's keep going.
You've thought way too much about this. Next scene then, it's the next day they're in the car, which he's trying to address the situation, but she doesn't want to know about it. I'll talk about it even. So the next test that he has to fulfill is go to an old people's home and is it like cheer them up or get them exercising or basically...
We had to conduct lots of people.
Right. So
I forgot about this scene.
all the old people are sat watching Total Divas. Did you pick up on that?
No, but now
No.
you've said it, I remember.
Okay. So Dax stands in front of the TV and there's an old guy in a chair and says, "Is this now a commercial?"
Yeah. And then he pretends to get a remote in his hand and keep trying to change the channel.
Yeah. And talks over Dax saying this commercial is just long and boring. And then one of the old women's like, "I might listen to you if you take your shirt off," a couple of times. So then in the end he does.
And then she said to him, so he's trying to encourage him to get up and exercise, and she's like, "You're more pretty when you don't talk."
Yeah. So then the old guy that's in this chair is now like, "Is this now a strip club?"
Yeah. Then Billy comes over and talks to Dax, and then the old guy's like, "Maybe she should take her shirt off." Anyway,
and also Dax when they start exercising and things, and Dax says, "Let's raise the roof," and the old guy's like, "Why? What's wrong with the roof?"
Yeah. This scene actually made me chuckle so much. Like, do you know what's we've watched this film probably about 3 times now.
Maybe.
And I forgot about this scene, like completely forgot about this scene. And like when it was on tonight watching it, I had a proper little chuckle to myself.
Yeah, and when Dax is talking to Billy, the old woman that likes Dax turns around and says, "Well, who's this trollop?"
Yeah. Oh dear. So he completes that task because he managed to get them up and moving. And then this scene, like this next little bit, is they get a flat tire, don't they?
Yeah.
Don't to the point of this part. But anyway, you talk about it. They get a flat tire. He asks a few questions about Billy. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. He says, well, he just makes a point. He's like, "I don't know anything about you. Tell me about you."
Yeah.
And like, "What do you want to know?" And he's like, "Well, what's your last name?" And she looks down at her jeans, and she's like, "Oh, it's Jean." So he's like, "So your name's Billie Jean?"
Yeah.
You must have got picked on when the song came out. And she's like, "What song?"
Yeah. That's it really.
That's it really. Yeah.
Then they stop for food, and there's like Dax. He's a man, like groaning, and he goes around the corner, and there's
a lot of kids like bump into him first, don't they?
Yeah, sorry. And there's like a man laid by the bins, and anyway, it's Santa, but he doesn't look like Santa. He looks like a proper.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, sorry. I figure when you look at it, you know it's him.
Okay.
Do you not?
Do you not know how a movie review works?
Yeah, but like when I first watched it the first time, I knew that was Santa.
Well, yeah, no, but we're explaining the scene. Though you just told them what the scene is before you even started speaking about it.
Yeah. Well, then you talk about it.
So, Dax goes down the alley and there's this old guy there who's just been mugged, and these kids have just stolen his ring. So then Dax goes back and gets the ring.
It's a very important ring because it was his grandfather's ring and he wants to give it to his son on his birthday.
Yeah, what she said.
You're the expert on doing movie reviews, so you keep going.
I was waiting for you to say, well, like you did. So yeah, then Billy says that he's now qualified for the job because he's performed this act of kind.
You didn't even say what happened.
Oh, didn't I? I said he went and got the ring back.
And then gave it back. Well, he didn't make it like.
I'm not going to say got the ring back, but then didn't give it to the guy.
Well, he did give it to the guy, but he didn't make it like into like the big thing it was. It was like the final test that he passed. He didn't even bother. He like goes up to the kids and he's like, "Give the ring back." Anyway, so he gets the ring back, and then he asks Billy what the next task is, and Billy's like, "You just completed it," and then they go back to Dax's house, and Billy tells him that her boss is Santa, and he doesn't believe her, obviously, because he's a non-believer. And she gets a little bell out, and she rings the bell when he's freaking out, and she wraps him in wrapping paper.
Yeah, well, she's saying that she's Santa's little helper, isn't she?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Isn't Santa's little helper the dog off The Simpsons?"
Yes.
And he does say to her, "If you're an elf, why don't you have elf ears?"
You're right. Yes.
But we don't want to upset you talking about that anymore. So So yeah, now he's wrapped up in wrapping paper, obviously, and then she throws a snowball at him as well.
Yeah.
The door rings. She unwraps him, and it's Santa Claus at the door.
Yep. So Santa explains that.
Spoiler alert: he was the guy in the alley.
Yeah. That obviously is real, and then like he does like a little bit of a flashback, don't they, to like the point where Dax turns into, what's the word they use, like a
Um,
I don't know, a wronging, I suppose you could
yeah.
say. And it's like a flashback back to the time when Dax was a child and he was at the youth centre, and he gets blamed for the money being stolen from the youth centre. And Santa says to him, had you Kate stayed on the right track, your life would have been, and he like shows him his future, and he was going to be like an astronaut who makes loads of money and then becomes a father, and then he creates a cure from the common cold. What a hilarious scene that is when you see Dax like pouring two beakers into each other.
Yeah, and he could have been a model.
Yeah.
So the whole point of the flashback was Santa's telling Dax this is when he stopped trusting people and pretend a knob, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
So then Santa says to Dax, it's never too late. To like start over, basically.
Yeah.
But then back at Dax's house, Fritz is there now. He's shaved his beard off and he's walking around in Dax's clothes.
He finishes shaving his beard off, and he's like, so that's my face then.
Yeah, that'd be like me if I shaved my beard off.
It would be, yeah. So you're saying Billy catches him dancing in Dax's shirt, tie, and sunglasses?
Yeah, and she tells him he shouldn't change who he is.
Yeah.
And then just tells him to go before Santa catches him, basically.
That's it, really?
Yeah, that's it. And then Santa gives Dax the job. The next day, the eviction guy shows up and Dax just chucks his keys over his head and then just says, I've left the place in a state, should we say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that.
And then he turns up at the North Pole, and Santa's saying, like in front of everybody, you've got the job, and Eleanor turns up. Ba ba ba. And she pulls out like a scroll and says, rule whatever, blah 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 blah.
217B.
There we are, 217B. That she can challenge for the position, essentially. And then she challenges Dax to it.
An obstacle course, basically.
Essentially, it is the most disappointing thing I've ever seen in my life. Like,
well, yeah, there's not like a lot of like, it's not like very good scenes or like an actual good obstacle. She's meant to have never lost it, and her father was the king of it or something like that, and it's not even a good obstacle.
It's just like a few lumps of wood, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with being
anything.
Like, Santa's little helper. Do you know what I mean? Like the actual helping out Santa is just an obstacle course, which a child looks like they could do. So yeah. One thing that was funny, Fitzy is like the guy who starts the obstacle course off, and he says, the losers' remains will be sent to their family with no charge. I'm only joking, there will be a small fee. That made me chuckle.
Yeah, so basically in the obstacle course, Paige plays, Eleanor, plays dirty and beats him, basically.
Yeah.
There's not really, like, a lot of detail into, considering this should be, like, the main part of the film.
Like, that big build-up to the film is this, and it is, like, a massive letdown.
So, yeah, unfortunately, there's not really more to say about that. Eleanor wins. She asks for the bell of Santa, but Santa says he wants Billy to hang on to it. Dax tells Eleanor that she should be nicer to Billy. And Eleanor tells him he doesn't belong here and to go, basically.
Yeah.
So then Dax goes and tells Billy that he's going to go home, and she leaves the bell on the table in this little, like, box.
And Dax steals the bell.
Yeah, Dax takes the bell, goes back
home to America.
Yeah. Billy's very upset, but Santa tells her that people are unpredictable.
So then it flashes to Dax is in America with the bell. Anyway, he gets himself a car, I don't know what type of car it was. Was it Aston Martin or something? I don't really know.
Asking the wrong person.
It's a stick, and he can't drive it, which is quite funny. Anyway, he eventually drives down to the youth centre that was closing down, and he rings a little bell, and he gets the man that stole the money off him. Well, blamed him for stealing the money, who also stole the money again this time, and like got him to confess that he's the one that's been stealing the money.
Yeah. So other than like the guy who's so this guy that was a bad guy that stole the money and stuff.
Yeah.
I'd seen him in another film before, and I've seen Billy in something else before. But other than that,
Well, what have you seen Billy in?
She was in The Night Shift.
Have I watched that?
No, because
it was scary.
Said it was too gory when I watched it.
Okay.
Like surgically gory, not like scary gory. And the guy that stole the money, he was in She's the Man. He was a football coach in that with Amanda Bynes.
Oh, I do like that film.
Yeah. But other than that, no one else really stands out. Obviously, then Ms. Page and Maurice.
Yeah.
No one else really stands out. So, yeah.
So when we get to the actual film. So the man who stole the money comes back, and then the guy who's like knocking down the building is like, well, you know, that's not going to save you though because they're stealing all this money. And Dax goes to ring the bell to like give them a wad of cash or a pile of money, and Santa stops him, takes the bell from him, and says, "You got to do this on your own now." And then Dax stands in front of the youth centre and does like a big heartful speech to save the centre about like, come and stand with me if you don't want this to go. And obviously everybody does. And then Paige is like, well, this is all great and fun and wonderful, but I'm still going to be the ho-ho-ho. And Santa's like, well, hang up, pal. Because you didn't show good sportsmanship, you can't be the ho-ho-ho. So the job now goes to Billy, which was Santa's plan all along.
Yeah.
And then the end of the film is Dax gets the girl.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I could just sum that up then?
Yeah. So I just done a quick Google. The guy that played Santa Claus, he's called Eric Kingsley Side. Is that what it says?
I can't read that upside down.
Okay. He was actually in Walking Tall, the Rocks film. But other than that, I don't. Is that the? Yeah, we've seen Beautiful Joe as well, haven't we?
Mhm.
I just can't remember the parts he was in the films, unfortunately. But so yeah, I suppose someone else that's been in, a
couple of films. Yeah. So overall, a very, very, very cheesy film, but it did make me laugh. What about you? What did you think to it?
I think I enjoyed it more the first time I watched it, just because I was excited about seeing Paige in a film, I think.
Yeah.
But now I've seen it a few times. I'm not like I really enjoy watching Christmas films, but if we knock this off like the list of ones we watch every year, I don't think I'd be overly upset.
What would you rate it out of 5?
I don't really like star ratings and things like that, but if I...
Okay.
A high 1?
A high 1?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I give it a 2.5.
Oh, wow, really?
Is that, like, very shocking?
Well,
I mean, I have seen a lot worse Christmas films than that.
Well,
you
yeah,
clearly
true.
never watched, like, the Netflix or, like, the movie channel. Have you seen, like,
I don't have
Christmas
enough time to watch things
Christmas
like that.
24, those films they're horrendous. But I still watch them all the way through, don't get me wrong.
Well, no, but, like, if you're basing this on, like, a Christmas film, like, obviously you've got your 5 stars, like Home Alone and The Grinch and things like that, and then you've got, so, like, for me, like, a 3 Christmas film would be something like 4 Christmases.
Okay, fair play.
So, but, like, I wouldn't say this was, like, 0.5 under that, do you know what I mean?
I suppose. Okay, yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Might say it like that.
Yeah, alright then. Yeah, you think too much of the star ratings, I think. You don't think of it like that.
Yeah, well, so then you just said a number without really thinking about it then, haven't you?
I did think about it, but not like... I was tossing between 2 and 2.5, but I giggled so much this time, I thought, well, I'll give it the 0.5.
Okay.
Maybe you need to have a glass of red while watching it, you'll enjoy it more.
Yeah, right. I would say it was like... out of the Harry Potter series, it is like the Half Blood Prince. It's a lot like a lower tier of.
I love the Half Blood Prince.
You can't even say
The
it.
Half Blood Prince. I mean, I know they messed up the ending, and there's a few things that were wrong, but I giggled at the film as well.
Well, exactly. It's not meant to be funny. It's not meant to be a funny film. There's meant to be like stuff going down at the end. We're kind of like changed this into a Harry Potter thing now, so we need to like stop because
Okay, we'll start arguing, and we'll never.
that can be a different conversation for a different podcast.
Yeah.
So this isn't the first Christmas film that Miz has done. He's done another one that we have seen, and I think that was actually worse than this film.
Oh, what was that film?
We have seen it. The Bounty, I want to say.
Oh, The Bounty Hunter.
Was it The Bounty Hunter?
I'm sure it was something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Christmas Bounty. It was called.
Yeah.
Released in 2013.
That was worse than this one. That's a 1.
I gave it a high 1.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that this is like 0.5 of a. What was that? Anyway.
Yeah. Out of the Mrs. I would say the Marine 4 Moving Target is probably the Miz's best film that he's been in.
What other films has he been in?
Marine 3, Marine 4, Marine 5, Marine 6, Bounty Hunter, Queens of the Ring, The Campaign. He had a cameo in
What
that.
does a cameo mean?
So like the Miz was like a cameo. Maurice was like a cameo in this film.
But why is she a cameo?
Because it's what they call when you're in for like a small part.
Oh, okay.
That's why they say, oh, they had a cameo in that.
Right, okay. I didn't know what it meant, I was just asking.
Yeah. Oh, well, you learn something new every day.
You do.
But yeah, The Moving Target, Marine 4, I would say, was the Miz's best film that he's been in. Summer Rae was in that film as well.
Oh, yes, that was a good film.
Yeah. Which is strange because she's on like the front cover, but she doesn't really have like a massive role in the film.
Yeah.
It's like Wrong Side of Town. That's got Batista and RVD in it. RVD's the main character. Batista's in the film for like 5 minutes, and he's like the main focus on the DVD cover. That was like a direct to DVD film, so it's just to sell it. So any last thoughts of Santa's Little Helper before we end the show?
No, I'm just excited for Christmas now, and I want a Christmas tree.
All right, that's
literally it. But I enjoyed the film. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to enjoy it this time around. Yeah.
Why?
I just did. I just giggled more than I thought I would.
You just said you were really looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, but like I was looking forward to like doing this podcast. Have you got any final thoughts?
I can wait a year until I watch it again.
Well, yeah, I don't want to watch it again this year.
So yeah, that is it then. If you're not going to speak on this podcast,
I'm done. Are you done?
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening to this movie review of Santa's Little Helper. If you have enjoyed it, please hit that like button and subscribe to The Man Games. Thank you for listening to The Man
and the Wife
podcast.